Hello, so this is going to be a pretty raw video with no preparation at all. So the idea is that we are going to set up a fast API project, and this is going to be a bare minimum project. We are not going to do a lot of things. It's just installing fast API, adding one get endpoint, and just trying to run it on the browser and see how it looks. So the first thing that we are going to do is, so as you can see, this is a blank project, blank folder. So we are going to have a requirements.txt, and we are just going to put a fast API project here. And then this is going to be our main.py. And while I do this, let me also put in Uvicorn. Just two things. Fast API is the Fast API framework, which contains all the files, all the logic for asynchronously handling REST endpoints, creating and handling REST endpoints. Uvicorn is a server, ASGI server. You can read more about it online, which really helps you in achieving the asynchronous functionalities of Fast API. Although in this particular scenario, we really do not need that, but just installing it for the sake of it. So now the first thing is adding the requirements, the packages, although you can do that later on as well. The second most requirement is to having a virtual environment where we are going to install the packages for this requirements.txt. So we are going to use the interface. So on VS Code, you just click on the version of the Python and click on create new virtual environment. You can either have VNV or Conda. Personal preference is VENV, especially when you're working with VS Code. Let's go ahead and use this 3.13 and I'll click OK. I'm not asking it to install everything which is under requirements.txt for now. There's a reason for that. Let's wait for this to complete and then I'll show you. Okay, so we have our virtual environment and it's active as well, as you can see here. And if you'll see, this libraries does not contain any external libraries, just the pip library, which is part of the system or part of the pip Python project. So now I open a terminal. There is a .venv, and all I'm going to do is pip install our requirements.txt. So what I'm doing here is I think fast API is not fast hyphen API, it's just fast API. So what I'm telling through this command is to go to the pip package website and install these two commands. And obviously once that is happening, there are a lot of dependency systems or dependency libraries as well, which are going to get installed. So along with fast API, there are a couple of more dependents, and then we have a Uvicorn as well. So this is a validation that the packages that you are trying to install are actually part of this. So now going to the main, and first thing that we'll do is from fast API, we do an import of fast API and import Uvicorn as Uvicorn. So there is a reason that these projects are, this file is not yet read. Let me close this and open it once more. So this is something that usually happens when you are creating a new project. The virtual environment, although that's active, but this file is not able to read from that. Let's see why that is happening. We have this Python environment, which should be fine. And let's try to see if it really works. So now first thing that you have to do is you have to create an object of fast API. While you do that, you can enter a title, uh, sample fast API project, and description. I think this is more than enough for the sake of this POC that we are doing. Now this is where things get interesting. So this app.get, so let's me write this and then see what exactly it means. So this app that we have created, we are adding an @ to it and saying that the function that we are going to define later on is going to be a get function, and We will uh, just make it a connection request, and what I'll return is a simple message that uh, welcome to fast API sample project. And once this is done, this is where the Uvicorn really comes into picture to run this solution as a part of server. So we are saying that okay, if this exists, then Uvicorn dot run our app, and we can mention the host uh, endpoint that we, or host port that we really wanted to run at. Host should be, or maybe I don't need to mention host, and just the port 8000, and host, I guess host should be local host. By default it will take local host, so I don't need to specifically mention that. Now I have some hopes that this is not going to run because it's not able to fetch the environment variables, but still let's try this. Oh, it ran. Maybe because the file is not able to pick that, but it's easily able to pick it from the virtual environment. Otherwise this would have given us an error. Now let's try, because we mentioned the port 8000, let's try to go to our local host 8000. Yes, so docs, and you see a connection. Let's try to run this message. Welcome to FastAPI sample project. One more interesting thing, if I just update this to welcome and save and try to run it once more, you see that these changes are not getting reflected. In order to do that, let me clear this, and there's a setting which is reload equals to true, and which basically says that if there are any changes, you must pass the application as an import string to enable reload. No. What really happened? Reload equals to true. This is weird. Let me see. Uvicorn reload fast API. So I don't want to pass it as a parameter. Uvicorn fast API app. Yes, so that should be fine. Auto reload equals to true. I think it's auto reload and not reload. No, auto reload is also not true. Maybe. Yeah, so I think yes, I got it. So the issue or the error is also a bit explicit. I was not able to understand. So you must pass the application as an import string to enable this, which means that you cannot pass this application as a object, but rather you need to send it as an import string, and we cannot have just app because it contains under a main file. So you have to pass it like that, which means in the main file use the app object which is available. So now if I run this, and let's see, let's open it once more. Localhost, not this, sorry, localhost 8000, and then if I try to run this, execute, it's welcome to FastAPI sample project. Let me see, this is root endpoint, fair enough. So I'll just save and run, and you can see the changes are reflected. So it reloads with this parameter, it reloads the application. It tries to reload the application as soon as it encounters a change. So this is what a very base structure of a fast API project looks like. You can have an app.get, you can have an app.post, you can have an app.put, you can have a app.patch and delete. all the normal REST API methods are enabled in this. So I hope this was helpful in kicking kickstart the FastAPI project, and I hope it helped. Thank you.